So yeah, every time we join, it's just a beautiful opportunity to focus on the light of divine being first and the light that we are. And then see what arises that denies that infinite light.
What's coming up for me is a discouragement. There's a discouragement when I feel this pain. I want to cry. It's like, so I'm making, okay, so I have a desire to be discouraged tonight. And a desire to be surprised that it came up.
Okay. And what happens when you place those desires in the light of truth?
Let me just do that. So, the light of truth right now is here between us. It's right here. It's not right here. It's here. Okay. I'm just getting a little bit different. So, those desires can't live here. They just can't live when I'm sitting here joining. Yeah.
Okay.
So the next is the desire for pain when I walk. So I have this desire for pain. I have a desire to be a body, to be separated. Okay, that feels deeper. I have a desire to separate.
Through the experience of pain?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I'm getting that. To separate and be in my personal identity, to leave the light. I'm willing to give that up. The desire for any personal identity, the specialness of being somebody that's in pain. And there's story connected with this. It's an excuse. It's a desire to have an excuse that feels like it's normal. It's an acceptable excuse.
Oh, the pain's an acceptable excuse?
Yeah. To separate. Wow. Okay. This is all new territory.
It's powerful territory. Yeah, it's very powerful territory. Let's look at desire.
Yeah, the desire to have pain, to feel discouraged, the desire to feel discouraged, and a viable excuse to separate from the light, or from joy. That's very deep. I'm willing to have that completely taken, Jesus.
And what do you see when you look at that directly? It's the light of divinity, this light, when you look at each of those thoughts.
They're illusions that have been being used for quite a while. This is old stuff. Feels, I know we're not in the timeline. I just got that.
The light's not on the timeline. That's great.
We're not in a timeline right now.
That's right.
I went horizontal for a second and came back. Okay, so there's no need to separate. It's impossible. It's impossible.
Yeah, that's the direct experience in the light. Yeah, it's beautiful.
So discouragement was felt very tricky. Right.
Well, it just feels really powerful to that whole thing that Jesus is showing in a new covenant, to look directly, to call it the desire for an experience. And we can even, like when emotion
Like
arises.
I have the desire for an experience of discouragement. I have a desire for the experience of pain. I have a desire for the experience of separation. I have a desire for the experience of an excuse to separate from life.
And then we just check those because they're not personal.
It's
actually.
a victim. I have the desire to be a victim. And I have a desire to be special. I have a desire to be in a personal identity instead of in the life. Yes.
And yeah, the beauty of this too, is that we know it. Like when we really look in Jesus saying, okay, see the desire for it, and then it's just an admission.
That's all it is.
It's innocence. It's an admission. It's just, and you can feel
it's
that
just
too.
flipping it over, flipping it over,
Yeah.
flipping it over. Just, yeah, it gets to be curious. Like, wow, what else is here?
It's really beautiful. Actually, the looking becomes really joyful.
Yeah.
Actually, and simple, very simple.
Yeah. Oh, and I have a desire. I have a desire to keep the pain, for it not to be removed, for this light session to not work, and to get up from here and still be in pain. I know. To give this all away.
What does it mean if you were to get up and keep the pain? What's the idea there? What benefit does that seem to have?
It proves that the light circle is there. Sure. There's really a desire for the light circle to not, for the light to not be as powerful as the pain.
And what's true in your experience? Is the pain more powerful than the light of divinity?
It's very, very weak illusion. It's been bullying. It likes to bully.
So the desire for the experience of feeling bullied.
Yes.
But there's so much power in this. That just simple statement of the recognition of the power the mind has to bring things into existence.
Little story, when I got on the bus tonight, it was so crowded they couldn't even close the doors. There wasn't room to put your feet down there. I felt fear rise. And I wonder if that triggered. I don't know, but it was like, where in God's name, in this whole day, did this come from? People climbing over each other. I had this flash of a thought. What if we crashed? We can't even move in here. So that was like a little hysterical nightmare that my mind opened up. Fear. So I want to put that in my life right now too. Because I was sort of looking, where did this come from? Didn't you put that in the light? I didn't put it in the light. What I did was I overrode it. I numbed out because I was afraid, so I didn't want to think about it. So I shut it down instead of going right into it with the light. So it was a moment of a bleep, where I wasn't on purpose.
And what do you see in the light now?
I see the importance of staying connected and on purpose all the time. Every time I'm not going to come back, that's what I'm seeing right now. The discipline to just stay. Just an odd moment. No breaks. Yeah. I suppose sometimes that happens.
It's, yeah, and that's really the beauty in the Course. Jesus is saying,
Sometimes it happens.
it's just right here. Even if it happens, does the light change in our direct experience? If it's seemingly, so it's just a thought, the light remains the same.
Yes. There was no cause and effect. The bus didn't, the fear didn't cause the pain. The thought caused the pain. And the thought caused the fear. And invited the fear. So, is I'm saying this right?
Well, it's probably just best, it's helpful to stay really simple and to say,
Yeah,
you know,
I
here's
like
the
that,
desired
simple.
experience, place the desired experience in the light.
Okay, that's what I missed. I desired an experience of the bus crashing with all those people this afternoon.
Or to play the movie of it.
Or to
At
play the
least.
movie of it. I mean, it shot up there. Yeah.
But, you know, it's, yeah.
Trapped in a hot bus.
Yeah, so the desire for an experience. But it's interesting because it doesn't have to appear, it's just how powerful the mind is. It actually doesn't have to appear in form because we're so reactive. We're so used to following the thought and the idea. Then that is what appears real. It's a perfect example of, you know, even the studies that they do now that show that the brain activity, just the thought, just the imagination actually activates the same part of the brain that the actual experience does.
So maybe this is
it's actually a form, it's just a form of denial of divinity that shows up that way, but the power is that now we see it.
Yeah.
It's seen. And it's seeing the rapidity with which it can just be seen through.
Yeah. No.
So we can ask Jesus, are there any more desires below our level of awareness that we need to see here? We're willing to see them. We can bring them into our awareness, which he does. It is infinite. This is mercy.
Yeah, there's a terror arising. It hasn't been expressed and hasn't come to the consciousness.
Okay, so terror is arising. Now, as you notice terror as the right light, what happens to it?
Yes, it can't. It goes that fast. Just being seen.
Yes. In the light of infinite being.
Yeah. That was from this morning's lesson. Was in this morning's lesson, terror.
That was in the light circle
Tonight, tonight, facing God. See, there it is, being God and the terror of.
Well, as part of the ego's plan is to have an experience of terror to deny God. Deny it is God.
And so that's what this is doing.
That's what yeah.
I'm so glad to do this because it shows me the completion of this. You know, like Jesus is taking me all the way.
Yeah. That's so beautiful. That's all of us. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It really does. This is the fulfillment of the ease and simplicity, going directly to the desire for the experience. It's just so easy. And then see it in the light of divine being, which is always available. And really look at terror. Because from the perspective of divine being, since no emotion exists in divine being, it's looking as a divine being. It's infinite power.
Mm-hmm. It almost feels like a match between divine being and terror, like looking straight in the headlights of God. All that terror, and then it just drops. It's blinded, cannot see anymore. You know, it's odd. I'm getting all sorts of symbols from like the Lord of the Rings and so forth are coming up in my mind. You know, those creatures that were, you know, as symbols of these spear thoughts. Is it Gollum?
Oh,
You know,
Gollum, yeah.
Gollum,
Yeah. Yeah, what did he say? Precious. That's what the ego feels. Yeah, terror is precious. It actually loves terror. It loves it. The ego just loves it. And then, I'm pretending like I'm not really liking terror, but really, deep down, if I really look at Jesus, he tells me, you want it. You want that experience.
Yeah, I'm saying the denial that I'm seeing right now is the honesty to see this is really, yes, I did want this. I was playing with this kind of, yes, Jesus, I need help here. You know, in the Course where he says, you have no idea how much help you need.
Oh my God, what a great one. Oh, thank you. What a precious, precious thing. This is what we're here for together. It's a gift. It's laying the truth with each other. There's nothing more precious than this. These light circles and just so much gratitude.
But this is a different kind of a light circle. This is the light circle with you. It's much more specific with something that came up. Yeah.
Well, until we see that it can be, but doesn't have, because, well, it's helpful for anything.
The light circle. You know?
It's true. It seems that way. And what we start to see is that it's the same thing, actually, the circle here, or it becomes a recognition of the immediacy of focusing on the light, placing in the light. That it's just become so. Yes. So in the beginning, it can seem like, okay, now I have to see that it's desire. But really, the whole thing, like the thoughts, feelings, and emotion, can just be.
And this morning I was able to do it with whatever came up, right up there with my notebook. I go through it with the Holy Spirit. So
it's just like whatever's most helpful, whatever's most helpful. I mean, it's helpful to sometimes see
this,
the structure.
I was collapsing inside of this one. I didn't have that, I can handle this. I want to try and do this by myself. So, thank you.
No, it feels good. I'm glad you're so willing. We live together.
Bye.
Oh my gosh.
Light.
Amen. Light. Let there be light. There's light shining all over us. Yeah, thank you. I think that feels really helpful for everyone.
Good.